Welcome to episode 2 of The Player and the Journalist. Along with 2021 national champion Jillian Reilly, I'm David Vick. In this episode, we will discuss Athletes Unlimited Week 1 and two head coaching hires at the D1 level, Kayla Treanor at Syracuse and Jill Batcheller at Villanova. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm excited to be back week 2. I think we have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. Yeah, I'm excited to get started.
Awesome. So let's see. Athletes Unlimited Week 1 wrapped up last weekend. Actually, Week 2 is getting started tonight. What were your overall thoughts on Week 1 of the newest women's professional lacrosse league?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. I think, obviously there's a lot of talent there. And, I think it's really interesting. There's a really interesting aspect with the different captains each week. And I think it's fun that, different players are getting to play with each other. But week 1 was awesome. They started off really strong. I know my previous coach, Kayla Treanor, got a lot of hype. She did really well. I think these players are just excited to be back out on the field in sort of a different format. And be playing, beside the best of the best. And I think it's just really fun to see so much talent out there on the field at the same time. It makes the sport exciting to watch. I think there's a lot of creativity. I think, there's a lot of chemistry between, some previous players who may have played together or new players, who form connections maybe at US tryouts. But I think week 1 was awesome. It was fun to follow along. With the media surrounding all of that. I have a bunch of previous BC teammates. Shout out Dempsey, Sam, Kenzie, Kayla's there. I think, it's really fun to watch them play alongside of each other. So I'm excited to see what week 2 brings.
Awesome. So yes, I am totally with you with the skill level on display. It was amazing. That one assist Kayla Trainer had to Dempsey Arsenal when she like flipped it, that was amazing.
So cool.
Um, so yeah, it was great. I think on Friday, day one, the games were a little sloppy. There were a lot of turnovers, but as the weekend went on, I think they got better, which is to be expected. And then I think the best game was definitely Sunday when Kayla Trainer just went off. I think it was an 8-7 win for Team Ole Miller against Team Dowdy. That was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited for week 2, but we have to talk about the format because it's very different from the college game. A lot of different rules. So is there anything before I get into like the specifics that you want to say that you liked or did not like about the format?
No, I mean, I think, obviously like the shorter sided game with the creates more of a, you have to possess the ball more. It's more fast paced. Stick work has to be a lot sharper. So I think that part of it, the rule change I like a lot. But yeah, I mean, I just think overall the format's just really cool and these players can come out and, it's not as much, up and down as it is play. And I think that's really cool, especially, like I said before, again, with these top players, they have a lot of creativity to show off and everyone comes with, and they bring something else. Everyone brings something different to the table. So I think that's part's really cool.
For sure. So I have to say, I coming into this show, I thought we might disagree on this. So it's going to be our first show disagreement, but it's okay.
Okay, here we
Um,
go.
so there were a lot of things that I liked, including the physicality. I thought that was really cool to see, and I think that's how it should be. As every sport goes from the college level to the professional level, it gets a little more physical. Obviously, they're adults; they're no longer college students, at least fully grown adults. The skill level on display was amazing. I I thought the shorter field was a good twist. I was a little unsure of that going in, but I think it's good because it does separate the professional game from the college game a little bit. And like you said, there's not as much up and down. So the shorter field and the shorter possession clock, I thought that was really good. It led to a lot of shots, which I feel like a lot of the rules for this league are geared towards offense. Um, we can agree or disagree on that if you think that's a good thing or not. Um, you're a defender. I'm going to stick up for the defenders and say I don't think all the rules should be geared towards the offense. My personal opinion.
Mhm.
Um, so let's see. Getting to some things I did not like. I have to ask you about the individual point system as opposed to the team system.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm sort of torn on that. I think, obviously it's a team sport, and at least at the college level, there's more emphasis on teamwork and shared successes. But I think there's an element of it that is really cool. Again, like being able to I guess, sort of highlight all of these good players who are continuing to excel and get better after college. I think that aspect of it is really cool. And, they're still able to get, the recognition and the honor, even post college and now at this new level. I think that aspect of it makes it pretty cool.
All right, fair enough.
Mhm.
So I would say the biggest thing that I have against it is what you mentioned at the start. Lacrosse is a team sport. It's not like tennis or swimming or mixed martial arts where it's one on one. And so I just feel like without like I don't want to bash it because I mean they're doing the best they can. Obviously, with only 4 teams, it's kind of hard to have a normal standings and like playoffs and stuff because there are only 4 teams. But I just feel like I found myself getting annoyed during the games when the commentator was like, "Oh, she just got 2 points for picking up a ground ball." I'm like, I don't care if she got 2 points for picking up a ground ball. I want to know who's playing good, who's winning the game. Like, obviously, ground balls are important, but I just feel like they kept talking about it. And at the end of the day, like when I tune in to watch Boston College play, for example, I'm tuning in to watch the team succeed, not necessarily one person. And so
Mhm.
with this league, they have a lot of talent, obviously, a lot of great stars. You already mentioned the Boston College players, and Kayla Treanor, your former coach.
Mhm.
I just feel like it should be more about the team. And so I think this setup is fine for now because there are only 4 teams and there aren't a lot of players. But I feel like if they want to grow long term and have long term success, they're going to have to find a way to blend in the team standings with the individual stuff because as the season goes on, that builds intensity. We want to see playoff games. We want to see tournament games. There's nothing like playoff intensity in any sport. And if there's no playoffs and no team goal at the end to crown a champion, it's not going to encourage the fans to tune in each week because every game will essentially mean the same. What are your thoughts on that?
No, totally. I completely agree. I think a huge part of it is the camaraderie, especially at the college level. You're able to rally around your team, and there is more emphasis put on, you know, getting your team to the Final Four. And I think you already mentioned it, but I do think the fact that there is only 4 teams there, I think it's difficult for them to sort of create that sort of atmosphere. And on top of that, too, changing the teams every week. I think right now when things are just getting started, that's sort of a cool aspect of it. But I definitely agree. I think that it does take away from building the seeds for playoffs and creating that sort of like championship feel. But I think you sort of have to pick and choose, and right now they picked the creating different teams, and therefore you can't really create that. So I think the individual stats work right now with this format, but I agree. I think in terms of being able to grow this league and grow the followership, I think most definitely in the future they're going to have to at least add a couple more teams in order to get that that bracket sort of style, and be able to keep the team aspect of this game, because I agree. I do think it's more of a team oriented game and always has been. So I think that's something for them to focus on in the future, definitely.
What are your thoughts on, you kind of mentioned it right there. Are you okay with them changing teams each week right now? Or would you rather it be set teams each week?
I think right now it's pretty cool. I also think, the team captain aspect of it is really cool. I think they're changing, they're bringing in sort of like some new blood in terms of like giving people captainship. Like I know week 1, or week 2 was just like Kayla Wood, and like there's like a bunch of new people who it's not always like just Taylor Cummings or
Mhm.
Kylie O'Miller or Kayla Treanor. Like it's not always like the big names, but I think they're sort of starting to bring maybe some younger players in, and sort of highlight them as, hey, team captain. Like they're giving the power to choose like the best of the best and who they think or who they want their team to be. I think that's sort of the fun aspect of it, and it's a little bit different than what they've done in the past, and what this, I mean, women's lacrosse have never done. We've never done anything like this. So I think that
Mhm.
part of it is cool.
For sure. So I do agree with you. I think it is cool. The competitor in me and like as just a fan of sports and a fan of competition, I feel like once again, long term, they're gonna have to do set teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, sports is about competing, especially when you get to the highest of levels, like the D1 level, and you're playing in the Final Four or the professional level. Like rivalries are what makes sports great in any sport, whether it's college football, Georgia, Florida, or MLB, Yankees, Red Sox. Um, you know, Rivalries are what fans want to see, and it's like Boston College, North Carolina wouldn't be the rivalry it was or it is if teams were changing each week, you know? And so I
Hmm.
feel like long term, I'm going to want to see that change because I don't want it all to be like, oh, that's my best friend. Let's play, you know? I mean, I just, I love how lacrosse is a tight community. And I think that's a great part of the sport that a lot of other sports don't have. I just want to see teams compete and it really means something. So I'm cool with it right now, but I think long term, again, that's something that I think is definitely going to need to change. Um, but I'll stop criticizing. I don't want to seem like a negative person. Overall, I loved watching the games. The skill level was amazing. So, are there any final thoughts on the format? Anything that you liked or did not like? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think it's a cool start, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how the league grows and develops, and I think they've drawn in a lot of attention already. It's only been a couple weeks, so I think as they gain more followers and people tune in more, I think hopefully they'll be able to, like we've talked about, just sort of grow some more teams and be able to create that team atmosphere and championship style league. But for now, I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to tune in for the rest of it.
It's going on tonight, so
Yeah,
there
I'm
you
gonna
go.
I'm gonna tune in.
um, okay, one last thing about are there any rules that you liked or did not like? Because there are a lot of changes, like no shooting space. The challenges are the player stopping at the midfield line, which I hate. Okay, I hate that. I mean, but that's just me. I feel like that's men's lacrosse. I'm tuning in to watch women's lacrosse, the better lacrosse. But
Mhm.
anyways, what about the rules? What are your thoughts on all the changes?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think they're all really cool, and they, like you said, they do change the game. I think as a defender, I will say I think the no shooting space I do like. I think it's not as much stop and go, and defenders can whatever get away with a little more. But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I think they've done a really good job sort of creating different elements to the game. Um, yeah, the midfield that is a little bit weird. Not gonna lie, stopping at the midfield, it's a little bit weird. But again, I think it just adds a different look to the game, and creates it an exciting new game pretty much for the fans to watch. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Don't have too
As a
many complaints right now.
For sure. All right, that's a good thing. As a defender, do you think it's only a matter of time before someone gets beamed with a shot because there's no shooting space?
Oh, I mean, it's for sure gonna happen. But I think that's just part of it. Like, if you're gonna stand in front of a shot, you're gonna get hit. But I think it's I think it's all in due time. I think it's definitely gonna happen. But I don't know. I think it's a cool rule change, and I think again, it's not as much stop and go. I think it's just let everybody play, and if you get hit with a shot, you get hit with a shot.
Hopefully, it's not in the head.
Exactly.
Are there any players that stood out to you? Obviously, Kayla Treanor played amazing, so maybe we can like subtract her because I feel like she was the standout performer of the weekend
Mhm.
by far. Were there any other players that stood out to you as having really good games or good weekend?
Mm-hmm. A bunch. I mean, it's hard to choose. I think, like we said before, there's so much talent
You
there.
have to choose one.
I know, I know. If I have to choose, I mean, I definitely think Katrina Dowd. She came out. She was playmaking a lot. She was scoring a lot. I mean, and again, she's a veteran, so we expect that from her. Um, I also think I'm going to be biased too, but I always love watching Dempsey. She brings in a lot of speed, and she brings in a lot of creativity. We
Oh,
already
she is fast.
it's so fast. Yeah, I think she was a standout. Sam, obviously, she always is. But no, I think there was a lot of talent and skill out there, and I think I can't choose. It's so hard to choose because there's just so many. There's so much talent. Obviously, Kayla Treanor was a standout. We said we were going to forget about her, but you can't really at that level. But no, there's so much talent there, and I think it's fun to watch new players step up and create plays.
Okay, so one quick thing about Katrina Dowd.
Yep.
It was very interesting to see, obviously because it is more physical. She was just winding up and just swinging that stick. I was like, "Oh my gosh." It was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So that was very interesting to see. Um so yeah, for my standout player, I'm going to have to go with North Carolina's Kayla Wood. I thought she was incredible. I was like, where did she come from? I mean, I knew she was good. She played at North Carolina, but the commentators, I think it was Joe that said it during the game. He made a really good point that she didn't really get the defensive recognition as other defenders in the country. So I thought she was good. I didn't know she was great, and I feel like she proved she was great. Obviously, she is great because she's a professional, but she was one of the best of the best. and she was just making things happen all over the field, and I was very impressed with her performance. And now she's a captain.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. And I think it's cool for players like her to just step out on the field, and it can be intimidating playing alongside some of the people she was alongside playing with, but I think it's awesome. I think she did great, and I think it's this league is an exciting opportunity for players like her to just like step out on the field. They don't have anything to lose, they have everything to gain. And again, college is a little bit different. You have the record, you have stats, you have more of the line. So
You
I think
actually
people are
have coaches
like,
too.
exactly, of actual coaches. So I think it's just, it's an opportunity for people to just leave everything out on the field and just like play lacrosse and have fun. And so I think, yeah, she did great. And I think there are a bunch of other players who did awesome, and, are able to just step out and have some fun at this level.
Awesome. All right, awesome. So are you ready to go on to segment 2?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So let's start with Jill Batcheller going to Villanova.
Hmm.
My gosh, I got a lot to say about this. I'm gonna let you start because this kind of got me heated. I feel so bad for the Drexel players. For people that don't know, she went to Villanova this offseason after leading Drexel to the most wins in program history. They made it to the conference championship game, ended up losing. Went to the NCAA tournament, lost in the first round, but that's still a great year for a school like Drexel. I mean, if they go to the tournament every year, that's a successful season. And then she leaves them to go to Villanova, who, let's just say, they're not very good right now. What are your thoughts, or what was your initial thought when you heard that she was leaving? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I liked it or didn't like it. I think I was just a little confused, just because she just did something so great, and Drexel just had one of their best seasons ever. And there's obviously things that go on behind the scenes that we might not know about.
Sure.
But yeah, usually as a head coach, you sort of want to like build the success and keep running it out. So I guess I have a lot of questions, which probably aren't going to get answered. But I don't know. I think it's just interesting, and she probably has her reasons. But yeah, I do feel for the Drexel team. I think they're probably feeling a little down. It's hard to have such a great season and then lose a head coach. And I'm sure someone amazing is going to step in. I don't know if they've hired anyone yet, but
Jillian
shout
Reilly by chance?
out, shout out. No, no, I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, I think it's definitely interesting. I think there's a lot going on in the college lacrosse world right now in terms of coaches moving around. But yeah, no, definitely want to hear your thoughts too. I was definitely confused on that one.
Okay, so when I first saw it, I actually saw it a day after it happened. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how I missed it, but I saw it a day later on Instagram. I was like, "Am I seeing this correctly?" I'm like, "That is Drexel's head coach." So, anyways, like you said, we don't know everything that went on behind the scenes. Um, it was just interesting to me to compare the schools. They're both private schools. Drexel is obviously going up. Villanova has like been the same. I think they're both in Philadelphia. Is that true? Accurate?
Um, yes,
Okay,
yes, I
so
think.
so she stayed in the same city. So I feel like obviously we don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, and it's not fair to speculate. Maybe she's getting more money, maybe she's not. Um, but I was just like, what? Okay, so she goes to Villanova. I went and looked at their all of their years of lacrosse. So they've been around since 1991, excluding the COVID shortened season. They have 7 winning seasons in 29 years. She's leaving a Drexel team that just came off the most wins in program history. Drexel has 2 All-Americans, both returning next season. They have a bunch of upperclassmen that are coming back for next year. Their starting goalie is coming back. So I'm just saying all these things to point out that Drexel, they had a great year, and all the signs point to them having another great year in 2022. And when you have all these players giving an extra year of their life to the program, I understand that she might not have recruited all of them because I think she was only there 3 or 4 years, maybe. Um, but like you build these relationships with people, and I totally understand that college athletics, at the end of the day, it is a business, and I get that, and that's kind of the hard part of it because as a fan, I want to see it like pure competition and just not really the business of it, but obviously that's always going to be there. Um, so I looking at it without knowing all the background details, it's hard to understand why she would go to Villanova, who is just, like I said, 70 winning seasons in 29 years. That's not very good. And I'm not trying to hate on Villanova, but Drexel is clearly in a better place right now. And so maybe she thought long term Villanova would be better. I mean, it's just hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm trying to put myself in the player's shoes right now because, I mean, we only had my time at BC. We only had, one assistant coach change. That was my freshman year. But I mean, a head coach is a different story. I think you lose the leadership. You lose a lot of confidence. In who's going to be leading you. Um, but I think that a program like Drexel, clearly they have a lot in them to be great, and they proved that this last season. So, despite their head coach leaving, I think they're gonna, ultimately at the end of the day, they're the ones on the field, and I think that they're going to be able to, come together. And it's a challenge in a sense, and it's a type of adversity that they're going to have to face in the off season, and the uncertainty of who's going to be coming in to lead them. But I think they have a good foundation that they built this past season, to just continue to get better, and they can decide themselves if they're going to let it tear them down, or if they're going to welcome in whoever comes next season, and build off the success they had in the previous season. And like you said, they have all Americans, so they have all the tools that they need to be successful. So it definitely is interesting. It was definitely I think a shocker to the lacrosse world. I think a lot of people were sort of scratching their heads over it, but at the end of the day, it's the players who are going to put in the work and are going to be great. So I'm excited to see what they do, and I'm excited to see who steps in as the new head coach.
I'm very excited to see what they do. I feel like going into next season, I'm just rooting for them because they just have like you just feel for them, you know? And I don't want to seem like I'm hating on Jill Batcheller for leaving. I just feel like why Villanova? That's where I'm struggling. Like if she left for the Syracuse job where she played, obviously no one's going to be mad at you for taking the Syracuse job. That's a job that probably won't come up for another 30 years if all goes well with Kayla Treanor. Or if she went to a school that was starting a program like Pitt. You know, like those are big time jobs. Just like I said, where I struggle is why Villanova. And if you're gonna leave Drexel for Villanova, I feel like she should have given Drexel another year just because of all the players they have coming back. And I feel like maybe I just get too attached, but I feel like that's a big thing. Like if someone's gonna give an extra year of their life to your program, that they're showing that they believe in what you're doing and believe in what the program is doing. And then for you to leave them, that just doesn't come across very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, again, I think it's tough because we don't know all the reasons, and there could be a reason that she has to move closer to Villanova, and there was an open position there. So I think there's a lot that we don't know, but yeah, it's definitely disheartening, for the Drexel team seeing their head coach leave. But yeah, it's hard to say. I think I'm having a hard time sort of just grasping it because I don't want to assume that she's leaving them because she doesn't have faith in them, just because we don't know all the answers. But yeah, I definitely think that, in these sort of scenarios, you just gotta like take it day by day and, think positively, and I hope that the Drexel team is able to do that.
And I wish her the best of luck at Villanova. If she ever listens to this podcast, please come on sometime. Explain. Um, so that's Jill Batcheller going to Villanova. That was probably the biggest head coaching hire, or at least, well, maybe not the biggest, but the most like, what just happened, you know? And then the biggest probably would be Syracuse because Gary Gait going over to the men's team that came out of left field.
Mhm.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
Can I get your thoughts on that when you found that out?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have more questions about that than the Drexel one, to be honest. I just think that I don't know. I can't imagine having a coach, who's been there for quite some time, like not only leave to go to another school, but stay at your school and just go to coach the men's team. I mean, I know obviously he played there and he has a lot of history and a lot of love for the men's team, but I don't know. I think that was just a little bit odd. And obviously, I mean, I'm sure he'll stay connected with the team. He's at the same school, and I know a lot of players are huge fans of his, and he's an awesome coach. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be cool to see what he does for the men's team. But even more so, I think it's going to be really awesome to see what Kayla Treanor does for the women's team. Because I think, obviously we were all so devastated, when she decided she wanted to leave and move on, but obviously wish her nothing but the best. And we know how talented she is as a coach, and she's more than ready for this position, and to be able to play at her alma mater. I think that's such a huge honor. And we know she's really excited. She's going to do great things there. So I think the Syracuse girls are really lucky. I think they're really excited, to have one of their alumni come and become their head coach. That's really cool. And not a lot of people can say that they have that opportunity, and she gets to, move back home. I think all the cards are just aligning for her. And, as sad as it is, because she helped our program so much, I think, it's an exciting opportunity for her, and we're excited to see what she's going to do there.
For sure. So I am definitely with you about the cards aligning. I feel like as soon as it was announced that Gary Gait was stepping over to the men's team, I thought it was a no-brainer for Kayla Treanor to get the job if she wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, there were some other candidates that we posted about on our Instagram. I thought Joe Spallina was a very interesting one because his son is going to play there, and that would have been interesting if he would have left Stony Brook, a school he's built up basically. Like Stony Brook without Joe Spallina, they weren't Stony Brook. Well, they were Stony Brook, just a lesser version. Um, so that would have been interesting. But yeah, I think it was Kayla Trainor's job all along if she wanted it. I think it is very cool for the players because it's an interesting dynamic. They have one of their own coming back, but it was also one of their own who just helped defeat them in the national championship game. So that I feel like that's a very interesting dynamic. I would love to be in their first team meeting, see the vibes.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think Kayla Treanor is gonna do great. I think her press conference, I watched every second of it when she was introduced as a head coach. I thought she did amazing. Um, yeah, it was amazing. So I'm super excited for her. Um, Something that I want to get your opinion on is Syracuse is ready to win a national championship next season. Like they were close to doing it this year. They ran into Boston College. The eagle, whatever sound an eagle makes. Do you know what sound an eagle makes?
No idea.
Come on.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Oh, thanks for hyping me up. I'm sure people are gonna hate on it. But
We'll
anyways,
add in like a little audio play or something.
there you go. Emily Harris-Chuck is coming back from her torn ACL. Meg Carney's coming back. Emma Tyrell stepped up after Meg Carney went down. Emma Ward is an amazing freshman. I love watching her play. Asa Goldstock is gone, so that's going to be a void they have to fill. They did just get the North Carolina transfer, so that'll be interesting. But basically, what I'm saying is they're ready to win it all next season. So she's stepping into a program that's ready to win a national championship. And most people, when they take over a head coaching job, it's normally for a team that's down. It's not for a team that's as good as Syracuse. What are your expectations for her personally, and how do you think she'll be able to handle the national championship expectation in 2022?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that with her experience that she just had coaching our program, she was an assistant coach, but Acacia gave her a lot of the reins, and she was able to make a lot of the offensive decisions, in addition to the draw circle. And again, she came in after we had, after our first national championship appearance. So she pretty much helped us build on our past successes, and was a huge part of us getting back to the Final Four, for the next 3 years following that. So I think that she's more than ready, and I think, she has so many talented players with her now at Syracuse, and she's meant to coach at that level. She's meant to bring teams to the national championship, and you sort of mentioned it a little bit earlier. A lot of head coaches start from the bottom, and they build the team up, and she's had that experience at Boston College, and now she knows what she has to do in order to get a team back there. So I think for her, being able to sort of fall back on her Syracuse roots, and she already knows what the culture is about. So I think the transition for her is going to be fairly easy, and I think that the players are just going to automatically follow her too. I think that's a huge part of it sometimes when you have a new head coach come in. you have to sort of like gain the trust of all the players. But I think, being an alumni and having, the players already know who she is and what she's all about, I think, they're going to be able to, most teams are going to be a little bit lower, and they're going to be able to just start at sort of like a higher level. And again, like you said, they're going to have Emily Harris-Chuck returning, Megan Carney returning. And I think they're just going to have so much fuel sort of to their tank. And I think they're going to be able to do some amazing things. And like you said, they're a national championship caliber team, and they proved it this last season. And I think, Kayla is the perfect person to just sort of remind them of that and get them. We felt the defeat after losing the national championships, but so did she. So I think she sort of has, that sort of experience and sort of knows what they're going through right now on the losing side of it, because she was along with us for so many heartbreaks. So like you said, I think, she's ready and she's prepared to help them sort of deal with that and just get back to work. So it's going to be really exciting to see.
I think that's a great point you make about her knowing what it's like to lose the national championship. I think that's something that obviously no one wants to experience, but I feel like it's kind of character building when you do lose a game of that magnitude, and especially 3 years in a row. So I think that'll be great for her to kind of connect with her players on that level and be like, I've been where you are. And obviously, when she was a player at Syracuse, they were never able to win it all. I'm not sure if they I don't think they went to a national championship. Maybe they did. I think they went to two Final Fours with her.
Oh, with her?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, was she your coach for all three, for all four of you? Wait, you were there 5 years. I'm sorry,
5 years, yeah, but so she was for 4 years. My
4
freshman
years.
year,
Okay.
yeah, she came in my sophomore year and was there
All right.
for
How
four
would you
years.
describe her as a leader?
Oh my gosh, amazing. I mean, not only is she super smart, but she buys in, and she invests in all of her players. She cares so much about everybody's growth, and whatever it is you need to work on, she's there. She's there early, she's there late after practice, whatever you need, she's there helping individuals get better, but the team get better. And she put in so much work for us the past four, or when I was there last 4 years. And she's just she's such a good person. And she cares for everybody as players and as people. She wants everybody to have a great experience, and that's something she said in her press conference. College is supposed to be the best 4 years of your life, and yes, lacrosse is important. And she's going to make it a point to help the team be successful and whatever. But she's just a great person. She cares for every individual, and I think that's what makes her such a good leader, is just how much she cares and how much time she invests, on top of being one of the best players in the entire world. And one of the smartest also. She's so smart, and she's so strategic in all of her decisions. So I think all of that, just pulled together and compiled into one, just it makes her such a great coach, such a great leader.
For sure. Um, Obviously, she was one of your coaches at Boston College. Would you say would it be accurate to say that she was Coach Keisha Walker Weinstein's like go to basically as in terms of the other coaches?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Yeah, they were together all the time, and talking strategy back and forth for hours and hours and dissecting film together. So yeah,
Would like
most
to be
definitely.
in that film room. Whew.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, they probably lost so much sleep over the amount of film that they would sit and watch together. But no, definitely. I mean, I think they just came together. Both of their offensive minds, and they're a fun relationship to watch, because they're the best of friends, but also they knew that they had to get down to work. And I think pulling her up to associate head coach level this past year. And just being able to sort of like, I think Acacia sat back and watched her work a little bit more this past year, and especially with the offense. And she trusted in Kayla, and I think they worked really well together the entire season. So yeah, they were definitely a dynamic duo for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. As a fan, I'm curious to see what type of offense Syracuse will run because they were running the weave kind of thing, and no one else was running it, but it was working. Let me tell you, it was working. So now she's going there. Do you have any idea or what type of offense do you think she will run? Because it's either a normal offense or the weave kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, first off, as a defender, I will say like the weave does work, but it's also very predictable.
Hmm.
So I think for her, she's a very creative coach, and her coaching style is really fun and exciting. She's always evolving with her game. So I think for her, I mean, I think she's just gonna pull out she's gonna have so many different ideas, and I think obviously the Syracuse weave is a staple, and I'm sure she won't just completely get rid of it, because I don't know how much that would hurt Gary,
Long
but
live the weave.
exactly. But no, I just think that she has so much to offer, and she has so many different weapons. I think that's another thing that she's really good at is utilizing all of her players' strengths, and I think that's definitely something she's going to bring to Syracuse, especially just with like all the depth that they have on the offensive side.
Whew.
So much, and she's gonna have a field day with that. I think she's so. I do think that I don't think it's going to be put to rest, but I think she's going to bring a lot to the table for them, and they're going to run. They're going to have 10 different sets, and each set's going to have 5 different plays, and so that's just the way that she operates. And she has so many different ideas, and I think she's just going to put that on display.
So are you saying there's a good chance that Syracuse will have the thickest offensive playbook in all of college lacrosse?
Oh, for sure, without a doubt, and as they should. They're smart players; they can handle it. But they're definitely going to have some thick film assignments, and their offensive playbook is going to be definitely going to be some sort of table of contents or something.
Time to get to work. Okay. So
Exactly.
what obviously, hopefully for the BC fans and the BC coaches that have been with Kayla Treanor, hopefully BC and Syracuse don't meet in like another national championship game anytime soon. But if
Mhm.
they did, I'm assuming you're rooting for Boston College, correct?
I have to. I love Kayla, but I have to. They're gonna make it back there. I know it. They're a talented team, and last season we were just getting started, and they're gonna build on that. So, yeah. Sorry, roll Eagles all the way.
Yep. Here's Boston College, here's Syracuse. They're coming together. It's gonna happen. So
Wouldn't be
um
surprised though, honestly. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
Syracuse is talented, and Kayla. I mean, Keisha's gonna have to change up some things because Kayla Kayla knows a lot of our strategy and our game plan.
She's
So
gonna be mean mugging Kayla on the sideline. Oh, we doing that now? Okay. Okay. Also, I did remember what I was gonna say earlier when I had that long pause.
yeah.
Um, I thought it was very cool when Coach Walker Weinstein put she did a little post on Instagram when Kayla took the Syracuse job, and she thanked her for like all the time, and she described her as a very loyal friend, and I just thought that was a cool just a cool kind of goodbye. And so I feel like that obviously that just shows the class act that your former head coaches. It kind of made me sad because obviously relationships are everything, and
Mhm.
so like that one has come to an end, and we can't really foresee anytime in the near future them working together again, unless it's with the national team, but definitely not at the college level. So what will you miss most about whether it's something that you took part in or the program as a whole? What will you miss most about Kayla Trainer being a part of Boston College's program?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just said it. I think relationships are everything. So I don't think there's one specific thing I'll miss, rather other than just having her around, and being able to experience her on the field, but also off the field. We had so much fun with her, and yeah, I think it's just a true testament to our program. Just like the post that Acacia did, we care for everybody, and we always want the best for, everybody when they move on and they start a new chapter of their life. Obviously it's sad, and now, we're on the search. Sam was just promoted to assistant coach. So, that's a new and exciting chapter for her. But yeah, I mean, I think, you can't help but just be happy for her. It's not often that a head coach position like Syracuse opens up, and you got to take advantage of that, especially if someone like Kayla, she's been working so hard for this her whole life. So, as much as we're going to miss her, we want the best for her, and we'll cherish those moments that we had with her, on the sideline, and traveling to away trips. But would never resent her for her decision, and care so
Of
much for
course
her.
not. Of course.
Exactly. So I think, yeah, our program, we always say we're a family, and we care for everybody so much. So we're excited to see what she does next. And, as much as we'll miss her, and Acacia's going to miss her, but she's going to do big things. So we're excited for her.
Okay, last thing about Kayla Trainer in
Mhm.
Boston College, that is. Did you ever go one on one with the greatest player in the world?
Yeah, I did actually
I'm talking
multiple.
about you're the greatest player. She's the other one, you know.
Oh, you're talking about me. Okay. I'm flattered. No, she actually, that's funny that you asked that because, her and Sam, they would jump in, in our drills and especially in, our defensive segments. So, they would step in and they would scout and be like top players that we were, trying to study their
I'm sure
tendencies. So
that was very fun.
so fun. I mean, how can you not, as a defender, how can you not love that? Having Sam Puzo, Kayla Treanor, a part of your scout offense team. Like it was awesome. And, I I held my own. I like to say I held my own, but she definitely, broke my ankles a few times. But she's Kayla Treanor, so I'm gonna let that one go. But yeah, no, it was awesome. She's such a creative player and fun player to be out there playing against. She has fun with it, and she's serious and she has to be serious, but she's silly and lighthearted. And I think I'll definitely miss that aspect of being able to play out there with her and just see everything she can bring to the table.
Okay, so you're from Massachusetts, correct?
Yes.
So did you ever show her what Massachusetts tough is really all about? Did you ever like deck her, you know? Oh, I didn't like what you said Monday in the film room, so I'm gonna let you have it right here.
No, I mean, she's tough, man. I mean, I think, coming from Syracuse too, she had something else to offer, but I tried to, bring my Massachusetts strength and rough her up a little bit, but I think she's taken a couple hits in her career, so she was used to it.
What you gotta let her know that Jillian Reilly hits different, you know. You gotta let her know what's up. As soon as she steps on the field, we're no
I
longer
think,
friends.
yeah.
You're no longer my coach. You're my competitor.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. When she stepped out on the field, she was no longer a coach, and she knew that. But no, yeah, she could handle it for sure. I think we went back and forth with our battles and our hits, so it was
Very
fun.
cool. Very cool. Um, so those are our two segments for today's show. Do you have anything that you wanna say, whether that's from segment one or segment two? Anything that's on your mind?
No, I mean, I think we were off to a good start. I think one thing that would be really cool is maybe if people are listening to this and they have specific topics that they want us to touch on or have discussions about, maybe message us or reach out. We'd be happy to take all of those thoughts into consideration and talk about the things that our fans are interested in listening about.
For sure, that's a great point. I can post that on the Instagram story and let people respond. Very good point. So yes, that's episode two. Thank you for tuning in. She's Jillian Reilly, the national champion. Okay, and I'm just some nerdy journalist. So anyways, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next time.